Hello, we're going to edit some colors today. I start with a very messy file, so I show you a few different tools in Photoshop which you can use for several different color adjustments. So this is the unedited infrared file which has no color profile yet. So I start with something which gives me a nice complementary color contrast. So let's see. Maybe we start with this. Duplicate the layer, add some contrast. It's my standard workflow. Curves adjustment you can use for pretty much everything. Okay. Then let's have a look how to introduce more colors here. White balance, and that changes everything. Now make a nice mask. Whoops, two colors in the photo already. Yeah, I merge color layers because I have a messy workflow. You don't have to do that, but I don't care. I have my results, it works, and yeah, that's fine. Okay, maybe now put more contrast. So this pattern here is a little bit better to see. Yeah. Now, selective color correction will only affect certain colors, obviously. It's fun to play around with that. Boost some colors. Personally love putting magenta in the yellows. Let's see. The white, gray and black I don't touch on the same layer because affecting too much the overall image. I just make a copy of the layer and then repeat the process. So if I don't like it, I don't have to do the other things again. Let's see. So this is pretty much intuitive and experimental. In this case, I didn't have a color scheme on my mind which I wanted in the first place, so it's going to be a randomized result. We'll see how you like it. The blacks normally I don't touch, it's too much of a mess. So, okay. I like the colors, but I don't like the contrast, so I put this layer on color only, so the contrast stays the same. Now I constantly compare to the other layers. Here's the same problem, I want to change only the color, not the contrast. Okay, now we want to get the whole thing look a bit more surreal. Like for instance, these tiles, they remind me of the football shape. So let's try something funny. Just quickly select this area. Doesn't really matter how accurate you are because you're going to soften the edges anyway. Okay, nothing happened yet. Now, in order to make this more look like a football, we need it to be brighter in the middle and darker on the edges. So we start with the middle, make it brighter. Curves again. Oh, I'm on the mask. Curves. So, okay. Now we could use Gaussian blur to get this done. Let's see. Why not? Now, I don't like playing too much with this layer. I just copy the background layer and merge these, so I'm working with a file which has the same effect but no mask yet. Put another mask. And for instance, now let's put a gradient inside. Round. So, okay, that's giving us more. What do we want? A bit more round look. Maybe a little bit more to this side. Play around until you like it. I'm not so convinced. Better take your time with this, and this is why I love doing that on a new layer. It gives you much more flexibility. Okay, that's good. Yeah, we merge again, or actually no, I go back, and I can use a copy of the background again, which is only affecting this area which is black at the top layer, and just make adjustment there, so I don't need a layer mask to separate the two areas. Let's reduce contrast a bit here. I think that will do. So if we merge this, see, we have completely changed the shape already of this image. It looks completely different. We just go on now creating something more abstract by transforming these black edges here into, I think, a very dark color. Let's see. Okay, we're here. Oh, that's good. Dark. Okay. Now I could have saved my selection from earlier, but yeah, I'm not in a hurry when I edit photos. It's just fun, so a professional would be, I guess, more efficient than me, but I don't care. I just enjoy the process. This time I'm a bit more accurate, going on the edges, and deactivate. Okay, we have to blur that a bit. I actually like it to be a bit more abstract. So, okay. Now, let's see, these two layers here are different. So we merge them and copy them. Make another copy. Copy this down. So this is the effect. And we play around with the luminosity a bit. Okay, maybe like this. Okay. Now, just have to curve. Okay, we didn't touch the composition yet. I think it can be optimized a bit. Have to clean up. This is actually an oil stain in a garage. So yeah, just so you see what we're doing here. We actually already have red in the dark area and more yellow on this. And I think I'm going to make that a bit stronger. Selective color correction sounds good enough. Magenta brings normally darker colors. Let's see. And maybe less. And let's put that only on the edges. Oops. There's no particular order in which I do this stuff, so yeah. It's a bit messy. But I get where I want to. That's the main thing, I think. Okay. It's a bit too strong on the right side for my taste, and good on the left side, so I weaken the effect a bit, let's say 30% here. And maybe in the corner a bit less. So it's a little bit more subtle. Maybe you don't see it at all, but I see it. Okay. Okay. Now, I think I want to make the whole thing glow like crazy. we put 2 points in the bright and the dark area and make a crazy contrast. Not too much. Now deactivate the whole layer and just use a brush in the right size. A bit smaller. Bigger. Okay. Let's paint around the edge. How this thing starts popping out of the ground. Okay. Now we're getting into something crazy. Now actually I think some things got too dark and others got too bright, so I just put this layer on brighten for the bright parts and copy it, put it to darken again. So I basically split the darkening and brightening information. Now I can fine tune this and say, yeah, a bit less dark, let's say 80%, and the brightness. I think it's pretty fine except for this area which gets too much attention, so I think I just darken that a bit. Okay, maybe here too, still close to the edge. It's my bad composition. Okay. Now I think I want some more fun in the middle. Let's add some more contrast. Actually, if you have a mixed contrast, like here you see how the histogram the point is moving up and down. So you just add in this area a bit of contrast, and that's usually doing the trick. And yeah, that looks like fun. We just mask it a bit so it's not everywhere. Always blur your mask or you screw up your file. And if you like a little bit more effect, actually you can use curves and just on the mask make it brighter. Let's see. I just wanted to get brighter actually, so we put it to brighten. And darken again. Yeah. I want this effect rather in the middle, so I darken the mask a bit. Make a background copy so we can merge these three. Tack. Okay. I don't like how it's changing the colors. I didn't want too much contrast there, so I put it to luminosity. Let's see. Okay. And a little bit less. Less is more. 75%. Okay. Actually think I try optimizing the contrast now in the classic black and white style. So I just make a layer mask here with a gradient, black and white. Make sure this is the same as the background, yes. And now we optimize with another curve, because it's fun. You can do this with levels or whatever, but I love curves too much, as you might have noticed. So let's see how we can optimize this. Maybe like this. Gives a pretty decent contrast. Just ignore the crazy colors in the preview here. And darken this a bit again on the edges. Maybe even bring down the highlights. Deactivate the whole thing and paint it manually in. Maybe more than. Let's start with 100%. You can always make the effect weaker later. So yeah, you might remember I have brightened this area around here, so if I darken it again now it's a bit weird, but I survive. The image quality survives this, easily, even if you do this like 50 times adjustment. Just have to control that no crazy colors are introduced. Okay, that's a bit too much. Or actually no, we just put this layer effect only on the highlights. So for that I copy this layer, merge this down, so the effect is only on this layer, deactivate it, load the previous channel highlights, and only the highlights. Okay, and now put that as a layer mask here. So it's only affecting the bright area and not the dark area. That's more what I like. Okay, it's a mask. You could fine tune this if you want, but in this case I think it's alright. Okay, now we deactivate the black and white mask and have a look what we have done here. I think I would never have edited it like this without looking at the black and white. But it's fun. So, yeah. I actually, since the black and white gradient is included in the contrast you see here, I put it often on luminosity because that's more like the contrast you edited instead of just deactivating this layer. You see there's a bit more glow. Maybe I put this to 50%. Okay. And now we have a layer mask here and this one. So we copy this again because I like to compare. I like to compare before and after because I'm not going to leave it like this. This looks horrible, I know. Okay. So we put this layer on fine tuning by darkening. See what it does. Yeah, not the best. In this area I want more shining parts. 60% and add back a bit brightness. Okay. Now copy the layer, put it on brightening mode, and delete the layer mask because that is affecting a different area. Now, how do I like this effect? Actually, I only like it in the middle, so I just paint it in the middle. Okay. As you can see, this is a crazy edit, but we are not finished, and that's the whole fun of it. Okay, contrast looks okay to me. And you go back to this file and it looks very boring actually. So we compare, but you don't want to overdo it, so put it on 70% maybe. Let's see. Okay. Going back a bit is always a good idea, so because you tend to over-edit files, I think. At least that's my problem. Let's put it to 50%. Make a copy of it and see how much I might just use it in the middle. Could have done this with a layer mask, but you know, everything works, so whatever works. I don't care. I have my own freedom in editing. That's how it's fun to me, so 30% more brightness there. Okay. 50% layer, 30% layer need to be merged with a copy again, so I can compare. Compare. Okay. What I don't like is the edges getting so bright. So we deactivate that a bit. Let's say 40%. And just leave the brightness in the middle. Okay. I should title this video turning an oil stain into art or something like that. I don't know. It's really fun to start with such boring subjects. Okay, I think I do the cleanup now, which I will stop the recording because it will take a while, but you will see the before and after. It's 11:12 now, so we'll see how long it takes. Okay, this was around 10 minutes of cleaning up. You can see the change here. So what I basically did was remove everything which is too distracting from my subject, which was the shape of the stain and now also the colors maybe a bit. And so, yeah, you see it's a huge difference to clean up your shots. There are two more oil stains here and there, which I don't really like. They're drawing too much attention away from my main subject, which I blatantly put in the middle. So, yeah, so cleaning up helps a lot. Okay, now, since we want to do a bit more about colors, let's see what we can do with color balance. Color balance is better to affect the whole mood of a picture, affecting all the midtones and bright tones and dark tones simultaneously on each slider. So be careful with that. It's introducing completely different colors very easily. And actually, let's do another small trick I love to do before we do this. We actually just make it very, very small and don't see much. And just add it intuitively and see what we can come up with. Oh, that looks like a galaxy in a black hole, right? Interesting. Let's edit that effect. So yeah, this is the fun for me when I edit infrared files or surreal stuff. I don't always have aim in my editing. So I'm completely free to play around with the colors, especially in infrared, since they make no sense anyway. Okay, let's see. I think I better be careful here, not to change too much on the dark tones. That's very yellow, that's very blue. Okay, let's go back and see what we have done. Interesting. Completely different, and you saw on the small preview it had a different visual impact, I think. But the before looks also very interesting in this. So if we want to make it look like a galaxy in a hole, I think we can do that. Let's just see. I think I like the blue in the middle better as it was before, so could use now a channel mask to, oh yeah, here the red one, perfect. Red channel. And just change the edges. It's a bit more balanced anyway. So if we want this to look like it's space, what do we have to do? First, I take a screenshot here in case I want to go back to this version. So you can always, oh yeah, you see we have done a bit already. Okay. Now, how do we make it look like a galaxy? We need more separation. I think I try a bit dodge and burn. Dark tones need to be much darker in this case. Let's see. This is separating visually the yellow area from the black area when you add more contrast. It's really like dissolving the surfaces. Let's see, maybe a bit more here. Don't be afraid to overdo it. You can always reduce the layer mask later on. Okay. Now that's visually stronger already. And we don't have to worry about losing this step because we have it here. So we just go all in, take this edit, and now see how we can make this more look like stars in the galaxy. Let's see. You know, like on star and astrophotography, you would never get such a bright sky. So let's try something a bit more extreme. This needs to go down to. Okay, and in the preview, it already looks like stars from the distance. Let's see. Now you see we kind of override completely the thing we have done before, but it doesn't really matter. Like there was no objective, nothing, we just play around. So let's put this on darken mode. That's actually the same, nothing got brighter I think. Doesn't matter. Okay, now we need a bit more color again, despite the darkness. So we just want the color to be stronger on these sides. So in this case I use a very primitive method to change the color. I just use the sponge from Dodge and Burn tool, 30%, and make it stronger. Let's see. There are a lot of destructive ways you can edit a file, but if you're careful, you manage it. It's not that big of a deal. So, okay. This is obviously only an effect we want in the middle. Just test. Okay. Gaussian blur, the most important thing in Photoshop. To have a nice edge everywhere. Okay, that's pretty much doing the job. Okay. I'm not completely keen on getting rid of the other contrast, so we copy, delete the layer mask. And just apply this effect first. Maybe not that strong. Let's see. Let's try 75%. And less on the edges, which in this case I just do it like this. Who cares? Let's see. Okay. We are getting there eventually. We just need to do a bit more. Okay, actually I want the bright dots to be a bit brighter. Have to do something about that soon, but that should be pretty easy. First, let's maybe use the luminosity information of this layer to get some more darkness around. Okay. And actually I go back here and just steal this layer mask over, so I don't have to do it again. Merge this again, put this layer on luminosity and invert that. Okay, this is the layer mask. Maybe would have been faster to just make a new one, but who cares? No, it's the opposite effect. Okay, yeah, it was a bit of a waste of time, because I have to modify this anyway now. But time is relative, as you know. Time is not money, time is relative. In this case, it's all about the fun. Okay. This is also counterproductive. I need this to shine. Edge needs to shine. Okay. Okay, let's see what we've done here. So we put this on, let's say 50%, and copy the layer for the color information, because now it's only luminosity. And color. Okay, just see what that does, because I didn't like this color. Let's do another trick and do hue saturation and just play around with the hue a bit to see what we can also do with this file. And since we have an idea now what we want it to look like, let's go back to the original vision we had here and rather do it on a small size and see how it affects the whole image. This is not good. The golden, I think I like. Yeah, I think I like that. Oops. Okay. Let's go back in. The bright tones look a bit messy. So let's reduce this a bit, 30%. Okay. Make a copy from here so we can compare again what we did. Putting more attention on the middle again. And yeah. Okay. Put it on luminosity again, just for fun. And on color again, because I'm picky. Actually don't like the yellow so much. I think I reduce it again, 50%. Okay. Let's see. This is a luminosity layer. This is a color layer. This one is a normal one, so the normal one gets copied and merged. So we compare, comparison. Okay, I think that's okay. Now we compare with the previous layer. And we need to do a bit more on the sky to get it out. So how do we do that? This is a difficult part in this image. Okay, let's just select the brightest highlights. And I think I use that mask. Yeah. Okay, now let's modify the mask. Oops. Because we only want to affect the sky. You could do this faster, but I like to be accurate. You can also use a selection tool, but yeah, it's all the same in the end. I like painting a bit here. Okay. It's always good to do this on your layer mask vision, so you see what you're doing and you don't forget a spot. That looks alright. So no change yet, we just have selected the very bright tones, and I think we use a curves adjustment to change that even more. Okay, that looks more like stars. Okay. Now, let's see, we put this layer on multiply negative. So this is just multiplying our stars, hopefully. It's more adjustment. Maybe like that. Okay. Actually, there's a lot of stuff in the black part which I don't want to be affected. Let's see. Actually, no, it's okay. That's okay. We just accept. And I just had the brilliant idea to remove the things which are connecting the sky with each other. Because the sky needs to be free without a grid, I think. This I could do off screen in better quality, of course, because I don't feel like I have to hurry up for you guys. But yeah, let's see. This pile is darker. That needs to be fixed. And here we have a strange cloning anomaly. Okay. Okay, so let's just use the primitive brightening tool a bit here. And just make it look like one more big surface. Okay. What did we do? I think it looks more like a hole now. And let's do the same on the edges here. I do that off screen to save some time. Okay, here we are back. And now have a look at this. Bam. That's a slight difference, I think, for our vision. Since, yeah, the sky doesn't have so many grids in the middle, I guess. So I also changed the shape here of the blue area to make it look more contrasting with the rest of the scene. Okay, I like that. Now, if you think that this is like the vision into the night sky, maybe you look from a space station or something like that, or a hole in a Stanley Kubrick Space Odyssey movie. Okay, so we want a more futuristic look for the wall. I think purple might be a cool idea. Just testing, because blue-purple is always nice. So we're just screwing up that again and make it look completely different. Who cares? It's my freedom. Okay. Let's see. Bit purple. Okay. Dark tones. Let's see how that helps. It's less. That's affecting a lot here. Better be careful. I like actually how it's turning the sky a bit brighter. And here, yes, I think yellow is too much. Better make it look like this. See? Okay, and let's go back and see. We want this to be on the color information. And for futuristic look, I think these kind of shapes are really nice, like bucket paper. So I think we also have to adjust a lot the contrast here and make it look more like steel or something. I think we match. Now the color of the sky, do I like it better or not? Decision making. Let's zoom out more. Dark blue night sky. I think I try a mix of both, 50%, and just see how that looks. Actually, I like the purple glow on the edges, so we just keep that. smaller brush, you can always add a bit more interesting details. Okay. I'm not convinced. I think I actually changed my mind and just use it for the middle part. And that means masking. Let's do the really dirty work. Click, 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 click. The faster you click, the more lines. Okay. Gaussian blur. A bit more. Let's see. That's okay. Yeah, I think we're getting to the night sky. I'm not sold again. I like this color also a lot. What is better? This looks more like night. This looks more like different light. Let's do 50% again. Just use it on the edges. Yeah, that looks like a night sky. I think we can survive. Okay, that's definitely a change I'm going to make. I'm not going to back to this. So you see we have lifted this ground into another sphere here. And so we merge. I have saved that state as a JPEG anyway, so I can always share the other file too. Okay, I need the tiles to look cleaner. They need to look like steel or something. Or, yeah, we'll try. So, curves again. Midtones, and we do an opposite S-curve to reduce the contrast. First here, and have a look how it looks. We just apply that to the bright tones. Put it to darken. Yeah, that was nonsensical. Experimental. Okay, ciao. Next try. Sometimes things don't work out the way you want. Let's do something more crazy. Let's try to completely eliminate this kind of contrast. Yeah, that's more like it. No, I think like that. Okay, now we add back some contrast only for the shape. And paint that. Oh, I made a mistake. 2 edits on 1 layer. Stupid idea. So I copy, go back, and put that on a new layer. Okay. Now masking all this stuff. I do this off screen again. Save some time. Okay, so what have I done in the meantime off screen? I added some contrast here, so this looks a bit darker. And I actually decided also off screen that I'm going with this color. Much better for sterile space station, whatever it is. Yeah, you could say now, okay, all the color is gone. What was the point of editing in the first place? Well, you could have stopped at any time in this editing process and keep what you like. And I guess so the lesson is still interesting. So yeah, I added a lot of intuitively, so yeah, this might happen. And I don't care, I just do what I like. So we reduced the contrast in the piles and darkened the frames and took out the color. And I think we can go with that and make this impression even stronger. Okay, so add more contrast again. Dark, bright. Let's see. Actually not brighter, but darker. Darker is better, I think. And I actually like how it looks on the sky too. It draws the attention more in the middle. So I think I keep it with the whole image. Okay, now I want the outer area to be darker again. So we just try a bit. Vignetting is my best friend. And if you don't like it, just don't use it. Okay. Gaussian blur, not on the layer mask. No. Yeah, just a bit. There we go. Okay. Think I like that. Already like this. Okay. Now, what you can also do with curves, you can clean up these tiles even more. We could blur them. Actually, I think I try that. Or we reduce the contrast between these tones furthermore. Let's try dark tone, bright tone, opposite S-curve. Okay. And see what that does. And just apply it maybe in darken mode. Here. And another copy in brighten mode. And here I only wanted to go on the gray parts, so I saved actually my channel selections here. We just use the opposite of that. Gives my dark lines dark. It's always good to save your selections. And not in the middle, of course. Okay. And control your layer mask all the time. You always forget something. Could even start with adding this. Okay. Just see. It's cleaning up a bit. But also removing my vignetting, which I don't want. So what do? Copy background, merge the dark and the background, copy this layer, then use this and use another mask. And don't apply it on the edges. There are many ways to do this, but yeah, they all work somehow. Okay. That removes the contrast more in the middle, but apparently also in the dark parts here, which I didn't want. So let's see, something went wrong there. Let's just make a new mask. Okay. It's a minor effect now. But yeah. Alright. That's too much darkening. 50%. Okay, I think I repair this tile here with the dirt. I'll make it a bit darker here too. Yeah, I show you how to do this. Just ignore the edges, make it nice and dark, and put the layer on darken. Bam. Except for that mistake I made. Okay. Ah yeah, I actually eliminated my other editing here, which was stupid. So, brighten, layer mask. Okay, so this tile doesn't fall out of the frame so much. It's so different from the others. Actually, I think I want some more texture there. For that, we could just, for fun, add some noise. Monochrome noise sounds better in this case. Always a mess to play around with this slider. I think that's fine. I'll just apply it on that tile. See, it also gives the impression that this is sharper now, which is really funny. So you can use actually adding some noise to make the image look sharper, which is crazy. Let's see, a little bit less effect always. 70%, and make a bit more variation in the noise. Yeah, I think that's already better. Okay, actually I also saw just a second ago that there was an interesting effect on the stars with adding some noise here. So we just try that again. And I think it's eliminating a bit of the softness in the dark area, which is great for a star sky, I think. We just tweak the curves a bit and put it on luminosity, not to change the colors. Now put it on, what did I want to do? My brain. Brighten. So, okay. It's adding a bit of a noisy stuff in the sky, I like. And I screwed up my setting again here, because I wasn't careful, so we just go back. Okay. Just on the sky. Adding a bit of That's nice. Okay. Now there are two more stains here, which break the vision a bit. So let's just clone them out pretty quickly. That's already better. Okay. Now that I have a balanced contrast, I screwed up again. Curves. And just see if we can make the whole image pop a bit more. I think I like a fading effect on the sky. So let's see. I'll make a new mask. It's easier. Okay. Blurring. And always control back and forth so you don't make some nonsense. Okay. If we put this on brighten mode, we just want everything brighter. Yes, getting more surreal because we removed the blacks here. Yeah, I like it. Okay. So how can we improve this furthermore? We play around with some colors. So. I don't like how changing the contrast in the middle. So just mask that out again, and if you have separate areas, you can always keep these masks selections, so you don't have to do this again and again, but I don't mind. Okay. So let's see if we can improve the starry sky a bit more. Let's actually go here into levels, make the sky darker and brighter. A bit softening. So if we put that on brightening, I think it could give a bit more attention on the stars. Okay, it's not so visible now, but later if we prepare the file for web, it will be more visible. Okay, and actually I don't like yet the wall structure here. I play around with some more contrast or stuff to improve that. Let's see. I like more contrast, but I don't like more contrast on the tiles. I think the best solution for that problem is just applying this to a certain brightness level, which is already bright. Okay. Red channel. The more contrast you add, the more surreal the whole thing gets. Keep that in mind. Okay, I think I like it. See in a small preview, yeah, that looks pretty much like looking into the sky. Now, maybe for the grid we can make it look like there's a light source coming from somewhere. Actually, it comes from here already, so let's put another adjustment layer here, just for black and white, so we can ignore the colors for a moment again and dodge and burn a bit until we like this image best. We are on the highlights, and now we're going to add a bit more light. No, I didn't like that. I think we should really make sure to boost the contrast on this edge so it stands out like it's really broken off or something. Okay, let's see what we did here. Yeah, more vision. I think it's drawing the eye more into the middle again. I like that. And just on this part I don't want to change the color, so I put this on luminosity. And in the middle I actually liked the color, so we put that on color, this layer, and then just paint it in manually. Okay, control that again, that looks good. And just for fun, because we have this anyway, check on luminosity how that is doing. That's too much. But the middle gets a bit brighter. I think I like that part, so let's just try this. Just the middle part. Because the more we manipulate this, the better. That was a funny sentence. Okay. So what have we done? Adding more contrast, and it's a bit too much here. And when you compare back and forth, you see it constantly. Just remove that completely. No, here was okay. And then just on the mask, see how much we like it. Maybe compromise. Good, that's a better vision already. I like take another screenshot and we can compare a bit. We went from here to here. That's what gave us the idea about the sky. Then we started working on the sky. And the space station. And this. Okay. I think I pause here and have a bit more thoughts on this. Okay, I decided to add a bit more darkness here, darken those bright areas a bit. And I think I'll leave it like that for now. Okay, so I save it off screen. Okay, I saved it, and now I'm going to resize we want this to be more surreal, so we pick a rather small size for web, which makes it easier to maintain this vision you see on a thumbnail. Okay, maybe even less. I think I go for 900 pixels this time only. Yeah, that's good. Okay, now we sharpen the stars. That will help a lot. Let's see which makes more sense. Not too much. It's already quite sharp because of the high contrast we have already. Let's see. Okay, we apply that to the whole image and apply it again. Now select only the very bright tones and sharpen only the bright tones again. And I think that's too much. So let's see, inverting the layer, how it looks. You can actually put it on darken mode just for fun. And in 100% size. No, it's too much. Okay. I think we can also leave it like this and just stop here. Yeah, you see my workflow is a total mess. Even now when I have resized, I notice some things which I don't like and I start editing the resized version. It doesn't bother me on the big file which is not sharpened because it's not so visible there, but on the small web size there might be more stuff which I don't like this one here. Okay, as you could see in the other video I shared yesterday, this was a bit off-screen editing what I did. Okay. I like these bright stars here. I think that's pretty much it. I think we'll see how people like this. Take care. Or actually, wait. This one here is not a star. Saw it earlier already and forgot about it again. That's better. And that's not a star either. That's something weird. I forgot that step to make sure there's nothing which doesn't look like stars in this mess. And the big star, I think a few of the biggest ones have to go to. Okay. Anything which doesn't look like a star. There's something red here. I don't like. I like it. Bit of color variation in the stars. Why not? But it's the only one, so I think I just reduce the color. Yeah, that's the level of madness you get into when you edit such stuff. Okay. That's pretty much it. Yeah, I hope you found my messy workflow entertaining at least. Take care.